Your brain is much better than you think. You are gifted with unlimited potential to learn and to be creative. 95% of what we know about our human brain and our capacity to learn is been studied only in the past 30 years. That's been implemented in our school or university or the place that we work. We all know that IQ is the best way to calculate a person's geniusness. But that's not true. Let's discuss in detail about what is geniusness first. There are several types of geniusness. One is the mathematical or logical geniusness. We know people like Isaac Newton, Stephen Hawkins, and the second type is verbal, which is people like William Shakespeare, great authors in the past. And third is musical, people who have been successful in the music field, Mozart or Beethoven, or current day musicians. Let's talk about the fourth one, which is kinesthetic, which people like Muhammad Ali or Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's one type of geniusness. The final two type of geniusness is interpersonal and intrapersonal. Interpersonal is the social leaders. We know Mahatma Gandhi or Winston Churchill or great leaders in the past. Interpersonal on the other side, intrapersonal on the other side is people who are self-aware, people like Osho or people like Mother Teresa. So these are the several types of geniusness that exists in the world. Now, is it possible for one man or one person to contain all this geniusness? Is it possible? Yes. Let me introduce you the great Leonardo da Vinci who lived in 1400s. We are going to talk about his lifestyle and what we can learn from Leonardo da Vinci in this video. There's no fan today because of the voice modulation, so I might sweat a lot. Let's see. This is the book Think Like Da Vinci, written by Michael Gelb or Gelb. So, J. Gelb. Did I say gay? I'm sorry. Michael J. Gelb. Michael J. Gelb is a beautiful author, and this is one of his debut book, which is a massive hit for him. We're not going to dive in deep about the lifestyle of Da Vinci. Rather, the book itself has three parts. The first part talks about the lifestyle of, or the life story of Leonardo. Second is the lifestyle, where we can learn the seven ideas of living a genius life in today's world. Finally, he talks about a small session on drawing, which is not important, I feel. So we're only going to discuss about the lifestyle of Leonardo da Vinci and what we can learn and how we can implement in our day-to-day life. Okay, I'm going to heavily rely on my small, beautiful list. Firstly, we're going to talk about curiosity, which is curiosity. Curious means it's very obvious. We need to be curious in our life. We need to understand why we are doing something. How we are doing something is very easy, but why we are doing is very important. So be like a child when you learn something and ask many as questions as possible when you learn something new or when you go through your life on a daily basis. Understand why you're doing something. Yeah, and the author says if you want to do that, try to write journals, which is a very simple, but it's an efficient way. Writing journals, we have talked about journals in so many videos, but writing journal is very important. As the author says, write down both the good things and the bad thing that happens in your life, so you are curious about yourself before you're curious about other things. So the first tip is be curious. Second tip, it's demonstrazione. All these words are from Italy because Leonardo da Vinci lived in Italy. So the author wants to introduce us to the seven steps in Leonardo's words itself. So second step, the author says, is demonstrazione, which means experiencing life in itself. We all know that acquiring knowledge is very easy. We can learn a book or watch a video or hire a teacher and learn any skill that we want. But are you actually internalizing it by implementing it in your life? So test your knowledge, as the author says, test your knowledge by doing that, by practicing it. We all know that, right? We learn something, for example, in the computer world, we learn a language, and then we want to build something. We do some projects or we do some practices by what we learn. So, experiencing things is the best way to improve your second type of genius. It's just a second step for your geniusness. And the author says, for doing that, create affirmations. Whatever your dreams are, whatever your goals are that you want to achieve, write affirmations is the author's second tip. Well, how do you do that? Well, you can write affirmations about your relationships in your life, about what are you learning, about money or about your spiritual journey, whatever it is. Author says writing these in your journal can also help you. Third is the sensazione, which means sensation. The author says that the senses are the ministry of our soul. So all our senses, hearing or touching or smells, all the senses play a crucial role on who we are as a person. So the tip for this chapter is to basically do everything with concentration, do everything with more focus. Let's say you're sitting and having a plate full of food. Smell the food before you eat and enjoy the food without watching TV or without spending your energy on worrying something else. So that's the tip that the author says. Improve your sensations in all the senses, be it touch, be it smell. For example, you should understand what kind of smell that can boost your energy. So be aware of it. That's what the third chapter talks about. The fourth one, the most important one, is fumoto. Fumoto means fumo in Spanish or in Latin language means fire. So author says fumoto means how do you approach uncertainty? We all know that life is not easy. We all know that there's no plain road. We all go through a bumpy roads and we all know that rose has thorns in it. We have to accept the reality. Author says you should be ready to accept that unparadox situations, uncertain situations in life, be it your studies or be it work or your relationship, be ready to accept the uncertainty. And how do you do that is by accepting the reality, amor fati, which means enjoy what's happening in life, whatever it is, happiness or sadness or grief or whatever is, accept it and enjoy the feeling, is the author says. Enjoy uncertainty. How do you do that? The tip here is to observe your feelings. And how do you do that is meditate. Meditation, we've talked about meditation in so many videos, and meditation is crucial as a human being for you to run through this beautiful journey called life. That's the fourth step for your journey of being a genius. The fifth one is arts and science. Arts and science, like ARTZ and science. Here, the author says, how do you find balance in life? We human beings have two types of, or two places in our brain called left hemisphere and right hemisphere. We all know that the left part of the brain or the left hemisphere of our brain is for the logical side of it, be it mathematics or geometry, the scientific side of things. On the left side, on the right side of your brain is your artistic side of your brain. Now, how do you find balance between these two? Being creative and being logical, is it possible? The author says yes, and you need to think like a whole brainer situation. Author gave tips like writing a mind map. Let's say you want to write a book. Put an image of this book and start connecting this with the possibilities of you writing the book. And that's the way you balance your left and your right brain. That's highly important. And the sixth one is corporalita. Corporalita, which is very simple, being living a healthy life. Author says that the body and the mind has a close relationship, and the state of your mind affects your state of your body, and state of your body affects your state of your mind. And I really want to list out some of the health tips that are written as it is written on this book. And there are close to 10 tips, which is highly, highly important. Let's listen to what Leonardo da Vinci has written 700 years ago about our health. To keep in health, rules are wise. Be aware of anger and avoid grievous moods. Rest your body, rest your head, keep your mind cheerful. Be covered well at night. Exercise moderately. Eat only when you want. Sup light. Sup light means less light dinner. Keep upright when you stand up. Do not with belly forward. And drink wine mixed with water. Don't take much. Eat simple. Chew well. Go to the toilet regularly. These are the health tips that are shared 700 years ago. Imagine there's not a lot of medical advancements, but these ideas from Western legends like Leonardo da Vinci shows that being simple and being understanding about our diets, knowing what we are eating, plays a crucial role of our health. So that's something that I wanted to share. There are a few more beautiful tips that I wanted to share about this particular chapter of being healthy. Author says you need to learn to write in both the hands. This can also help in the previous tip, that's arts and science. And also you need to learn how to juggle. I don't know why he introduced juggling into this chapter of being geniuses, but there is a relation from, it seems, if you can juggle well, you can think well, because you're actually doing a lot of things when you're juggling. Yeah. So the seventh chapter is connessione, which means everything is connected. Whatever we do in this life, or whatever a human being is going through, everything is connected. Every dot has a connection. In fact, the author talks about the whole universe, the earth, the air, the fire, the water. Everything is inside our human being. And that means when you say air, that means your lungs. And when you say water, it's your blood. Like so many things that the author says that the whole world is inside us. And you need to understand you. You need to control you and conquer yourself before you conquer the outside world. And that's highly, highly important. So here's where the author talks about Mona Lisa. You're talking about Leonardo da Vinci, and if you're not talking about Mona Lisa, that's not good. So the author delves in detail about what the Mona Lisa painting is all about, and he says through that Mona Lisa, he's trying to say that life is yin and yang, like the Western world, the Eastern world, where we are. The author says, Mona Lisa, if you see Mona Lisa with a happy mind, you see a happy Mona Lisa smiling at you. But on the other hand, if you are sad and worried, and if you look at Mona Lisa very sadly, you would see a sad woman. And there's a theory. We still don't know who is Mona Lisa, and there's a lot of studies, and they all say that author himself, the painter himself, Leonardo da Vinci himself, draw Mona Lisa in a feminine way, and they talked about that in detail, which is very, very interesting. These are the 7 tips or 7 steps for you to live a genius life. And think about it. We are living in a world that is filled with specialization and fragmentation. And is it possible for us to conquer all the geniusness? Is it possible for us to be more artistic and also be logic in life? Of course, there is someone who lived in the world like that, and we know people who are living like this in the world. So if one monkey can do, another monkey can do. Imitation is the fundamental of for human life or any human beings. You see a duckling or a baby duck, it gives birth, and nobody's teaching the duck to swim in the water. It just learns from its mother by imitating what the mother does. So if that species can do, any species in the world can imitate things. And the interesting part about imitating others is we as human beings have a edge on that. We can imitate who we want to. We are not imitating monkey, we're not imitating ducks, but we know who to choose, and we know how to choose. And that's the best part of being a human being species, a homo sapiens. So that's about the book. Give it a thought and read Think Like Da Vinci in 2023. this book can be a life changer for you. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.